You ever wonder why discipline feels like a constant losing battle, like a war that's waged inside your own head every single day? You set the alarm, you make the plan, you write down your goals with so much conviction. And yet, your best intentions, your biggest dreams, they just seem to crumble in the face of the smallest distraction. It's frustrating, and it feels so deeply personal. But what if I told you it wasn't personal at all? Today, we're going to explore a really profound and honestly an unsettling truth. We're diving deep into what I call the discipline deception. And together, we're going to uncover why your brain isn't just failing to help you, it's actively and very powerfully fighting against the very goals you set for yourself.
So let's just start by tearing down a myth, a single, powerful idea that has probably caused you years of shame and quiet frustration. It's this belief that a lack of discipline, it's a personal weakness, a fundamental flaw in your character. This view, as the slide says, isn't just a little bit wrong, it is completely misguided. It's such a heavy, invisible burden to carry, this idea that we're somehow broken. But what you're about to learn is that your struggle, it's not a sign of your failure. It's a sign that you've been fighting the wrong war, with the wrong weapons, on the wrong battlefield entirely.
If you have ever felt that sharp, sinking sting of self-blame after putting off something that was truly important, if you've ever looked in the mirror and just felt this wave of bitter disappointment for the person looking back for not being able to follow through on a simple promise you made to yourself, then I really need you to listen closely. This explainer isn't here to offer you more judgment. It's here to offer you something else entirely: understanding. It's here to show you, with actual science, that you weren't failing. You were simply playing a game that was rigged against you from the very beginning. And now, finally, you're about to learn the rules. Okay, so here's our roadmap for this journey. First, we're going to expose the discipline delusion and really get why the common approach is so deeply flawed. Then, we'll dive into your brain's ancient software, the old programming that's still running the show. From there, we'll see how you can become the architect of behavior. We'll learn about the power of stacking habits and uncover the 4 invisible laws that secretly guide everything you do. And finally, we'll get to the biggest shift of all, understanding that ultimately, discipline is your identity. And so we begin with a startling, almost controversial idea. The popular notion of discipline, the one that's in every self-help book and motivational speech, the one that tells you to just try harder, push through, and use more willpower, well, that entire philosophy sets you up for an impossible fight, a battle against your own biology, a battle you were never, ever meant to win. And I want to be perfectly clear about this. This isn't a metaphor. It is not some clever turn of phrase. As the text here says, it is a hard neurobiological fact. The way our culture teaches us to think about discipline is fundamentally at odds with the organ that's supposed to do the work, your brain. It was not engineered over millions of years to chase some abstract, long-term goal. No, your brain evolved for something much more immediate, much more primal. To really understand your struggles in the 21st century, we have to go back in time. Tens of thousands of years, in fact. We need to look at the ancient foundational software that is still running in your mind right now. Let's call it the Lazy Hunter-Gatherer program. And the keyword here isn't just lazy, it's efficient. This program is what kept our species alive, and believe me, it is still in charge today. This slide really illustrates the core conflict of modern life. Look on the left, the modern world demands that we chase long-term goals, like saving for retirement. But on the right, our ancient brain is just screaming for immediate survival. It doesn't care about next year, it cares about right now. The world demands consistency, showing up day after day. But our brain, it craves quick rewards, that instant hit from a sugary snack or a social media like. Society demands constant productivity, to always be doing more. But the prime directive of our brain, its number one job, is to conserve energy at all costs. So, when you feel that powerful pull to the couch instead of the gym, that isn't a moral failing. That's your ancient survival software running perfectly. It's not a defect, it's the original design. And here is the crucial piece. There's a scientific name for this powerful, invisible force: cognitive ease. It is the brain's unwavering, automatic preference for the path of least resistance. And what is truly mind-bending about this, the part that changes everything, is that this choice is not conscious. Let me say that again. It is not a conscious choice. It isn't you deciding to be lazy. It's a deep, automatic, unconscious calculation your brain makes in milliseconds, long before your conscious mind even gets a vote. It is always optimizing for one thing: what requires the absolute least amount of energy right now. So this brings us to a really pivotal question, a real turning point. If your brain is hardwired for the easy path,
If fighting it head-on with willpower is a losing game, then how do you ever win? How do you achieve anything at all? Well, this is where we have to consider a radical idea, a complete shift in perspective. What if the problem was never you? What if the real enemy isn't your lack of discipline, but the very world you've built around yourself? This brings us to our next chapter. We are now entering a whole new way of thinking. This is the moment you stop being a soldier, exhausted from fighting a constant battle inside your own head. And instead, you become an architect, the deliberate, intelligent designer of your own behavior. Because the secret to discipline, it turns out, isn't found in your willpower. It's found in your environment. James Clear, the author of the amazing book Atomic Habits, puts it perfectly. Motivation is overrated. Environment is more important. Just think about that for a second. How much of your life have you spent trying to feel motivated, waiting for that lightning bolt of inspiration? But motivation is just a feeling. It's fickle. It comes and goes. It's completely unreliable. But your environment? That's constant. The real power is in the world we live in every single day, the physical and digital spaces that are silently, powerfully shaping our choices without us even noticing. This powerful concept is known as choice architecture. It's the idea that you can design a world to make certain choices more likely, and our behavior is always shaped by what is easiest and most visible. Just look at this incredible real-world example. A hospital cafeteria wanted people to drink more water. Now, the old way would be to run a campaign, put up posters, lecture people. They did none of that. All they did was change the layout. They put water everywhere at eye level in every cooler. They simply made water more accessible than the soda. The result? Water sales shot up and soda sales dropped. No willpower was needed, nobody was shamed. The healthy choice simply became the path of least resistance, the easiest option. And this brings us to one of the most freeing truths of all. We think discipline is about agonizing effort, but that is just wrong. True, sustainable discipline doesn't come from superhuman effort. It comes from intelligent preparation. It's not about gritting your teeth and forcing your way through resistance every single day. It's about taking the time, just once, to build a better system. It's about designing a world where the right choices are the easy choices. So, designing our environment, that's step one. That's about clearing the path. But what's next? What if you could go even further? What if you could tap into the automatic behaviors your brain is already running on autopilot and sort of hijack that system for your own good? This is the core idea behind the amazing power of stacking habit. The formula, as you can see, is just brilliantly simple, but so effective. Step one, identify. Find a habit you already do without thinking, something completely automatic. It could be brushing your teeth, making your morning coffee, anything. Step two, link. You connect a new, tiny habit directly after that existing one. The formula is, after I do my current habit, I will do my new habit. So for example, after I make my morning coffee, I will do 5 push-ups. Or, after I take off my work shoes, I will immediately change into my gym clothes. Step 3, couple. Over time, this creates a powerful connection in your brain. The new habit just gets pulled along by the momentum of the old one until it becomes automatic too. You're literally hacking your brain's existing wiring. Okay, now let's talk about that great monster that haunts all of us. Procrastination. We've been taught our whole lives that it's a character flaw, a moral failing, a symptom of being lazy. But what if all of that is wrong? Procrastination is not a character problem. It is simply a design problem. Your behavior is the output of a system. If you are procrastinating, your system is poorly designed. And to fix it, we have to become engineers of our own behavior. We need to understand the 4 invisible laws that govern everything we do. So, the first law is, make it obvious. Your brain operates on cues from your environment. If the cue for a habit is invisible, the habit just will not happen. Out of sight is truly, literally out of mind. So if your goal is to read more, don't leave the book on a shelf where you'll never see it. Put it directly on your pillow. It's the last thing you see at night and the first thing you see in the morning. If you want to remember your vitamins, don't hide them in a cabinet. Put the bottle right next to your coffee machine. Make the cue for the good habit impossible to ignore. The second law is, make it attractive. Our brains are motivated by the anticipation of a reward. So we need to make our habits something we actually look forward to doing. You can do this by pairing up your new, difficult habit with something you genuinely want to do. A great way to do this is temptation bundling. Maybe you only allow yourself to watch your favorite Netflix show while you're on the treadmill, or you only get to listen to your favorite podcast while you're cleaning the kitchen. This links the chore to an immediate hit of pleasure, tricking your brain into actually looking forward to it.
The third law is maybe the most important of all. Make it easy. Remember cognitive ease? This law works directly with your brain's core programming. Every habit has friction, that little bit of energy it takes to get started. Your job as an architect is to reduce that friction to as close to zero as you can. Your goal is not go for a 5-mile run. Your goal is put on your running shoes. That's it. Your goal isn't write a chapter of my book. Your goal is write one single sentence. The purpose is to make the starting point so ridiculously, absurdly simple that your brain doesn't even have a reason to say no. It has to be easier to just do it than to resist it. And the final crucial law is make it satisfying. Remember, our ancient brain wants immediate rewards. The problem with most good habits is that the reward is delayed. You don't get fit after one workout, so you have to invent an immediate win to give your brain that little hit of satisfaction it craves. This can be as simple as putting a big, satisfying X on a calendar every day you do the habit. That's called not breaking the chain. Or it could be moving a paperclip from one jar to another after you complete your task. This small, symbolic action gives you immediate, tangible feedback. It closes a loop in your brain and sends a clear signal, hey, that felt good. Let's do that again tomorrow.
Okay, make it obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. This all makes perfect sense, right? It's a great system. But let's be honest. What if, even after all this clever design, you still just don't like the task? Do you really need to somehow fall in love with eating salads or waking up early to become a truly disciplined person? This is the final and most important piece of the puzzle. And the answer, it might surprise you.
We now arrive at the deepest layer of this whole transformation. We're moving beyond simple tips and tricks. We're now touching the very core of who we are. Because we're about to discover that true, lasting discipline, the kind that doesn't require constant draining effort, isn't about what you do. It's about who you believe you are. This quote from James Clear is, I think, one of the most profound insights into human performance ever written. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Just let that sink in. We all have goals. We all have dreams. But they're meaningless in the face of our daily reality. Because on their worst day, when you're tired and stressed and have zero motivation, you will not rise to the occasion. You will fall back to your default setting. You will fall to the level of your automated systems, your habits. Your systems, not your goals, are what determine your destiny. And so we arrive at the final crucial point. The ultimate goal of building better habits isn't just to do something. The goal is to become someone. As it says here, every single action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. When you choose to meditate for 2 minutes instead of scrolling on your phone, you are casting a vote for I am a calm person. When you write just one sentence, you are casting a vote for I am a writer. These small habits are the evidence that builds a new identity. They are tiny votes that, over time, add up and change the story you tell yourself about yourself. And eventually, the behavior is no longer a struggle against your identity. It's simply a reflection of it. So, after everything we've talked about, the power is now back in your hands. But it's a different kind of power. It's not the power of brute force and willpower. It is the quiet, deliberate power of intelligent design. So I want to leave you with this question, and I want you to think about it right now. What is the first small habit you will redesign, using these laws starting today? What is the first vote you will cast for the person you want to become? Because the simple act of deciding right now is your very first piece of evidence. Thanks for watching Mindscope. Join our journey to unlock the mind. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.